Ready to dive deep into karma.
Let's do it.
You know, it's one of those concepts that's been around forever.
Yeah,
Seems like every culture has its own take on it.
definitely.
You've brought this book, Karma, Understanding Your Secret Life Journey, and it promises to go way beyond just the basics.
See, it really does. It goes so much deeper than just what goes around comes around.
Right, like we're talking soul purpose, past lives, even how our relationships fit into this whole karmic picture.
And it really emphasizes the idea of karma as a process of personal evolution.
Okay, so less about cosmic scorekeeping and more about personal growth.
Exactly. It's not about punishment. It's about learning, evolving, becoming the best versions of ourselves.
I like that. So before we get into past lives and soul purpose and all that, let's start with the basics. How does this book define karma?
Well, it starts with a principle you're probably familiar with, cause and effect. Every action has a consequence.
Right.
But then it takes it further, saying that every action, thought, even intention, sends out these karmic ripples.
Hold on, so you're saying even just thinking something can have karmic consequences?
That's what the book argues, yeah. And those ripples, they shape our experiences, not just in the present, but in the future too.
Wow. So every thought, every choice is like creating these waves that ripple out and affect our lives.
That's the idea, and the book dives into how different cultures view those ripples.
Okay, like what?
Well, for example, in Hinduism, the idea is that karma can span multiple lifetimes.
Whoa, so it's not like hitting a reset button with each new life.
Nope, you carry that karmic energy with you.
So it's like we have a karmic legacy from our past lives.
Exactly, and it's not just Hinduism. Buddhism takes it even further, saying that thoughts and intentions carry just as much weight as action.
So it's not just about what you do, but why you do it.
Right, your motivation really matters.
So even a seemingly good deed could actually create negative karma if it was done for the wrong reason.
That's right, your intention is like, it's like the secret ingredient, determines whether the karmic dish turns out good or bad.
I like that analogy.
Thanks.
So we've got these individual perspectives, Hinduism, Buddhism, but what about a more communal view of karma?
Yeah, well, the book also talks about the African concept of Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
It emphasizes how our actions impact not just ourselves, but the entire community.
So it's not just about individual actions and consequences, but how those actions affect the whole group.
Exactly. Ubuntu is all about harmony and balance within the community.
Okay, that's interesting. It's definitely different from that westernized, kind of simplified version of karma we often hear.
Yeah, that what goes around comes around idea. Yeah, which, I mean, it has its place here, but it often misses the deeper point of karma as a force for personal growth, spiritual growth even.
Okay, so we've got karma as this complex web of actions, thoughts, and intentions. It can span lifetimes. It affects individuals and communities. This is starting to sound less like a simple rule and more like an epic adventure.
And the book argues that at the heart of that adventure is your soul's purpose.
So here we go.
It suggests that we're not just here to exist. We're each here to fulfill a unique purpose path.
So we're not just wandering aimlessly. There's a plan.
You could say that. And all those challenges we encounter, those aren't just random roadblocks. Yeah, they're opportunities to learn, grow, and ultimately fulfill that purpose.
So those frustrating patterns that we all seem to have, those struggles, those could actually be like signposts pointing us toward our soul's purpose.
That's one way to look at it. The book definitely suggests paying attention to those recurring themes. They can provide valuable insights into the lessons we need to learn.
Okay, this is getting really interesting. Let's talk reincarnation. This is where things get kind of mind-blowing. The book dives into this idea of multiple lifetimes, each one building on the last.
It's a
fascinating concept. It challenges us to view life as a much larger story, not just one chapter, but an entire epic.
So we're not starting from scratch with each new life.
Not necessarily. You carry the wisdom, the experiences, even some of the baggage from those past lives.
The book gives an example, right? Like, a fear of abandonment in this life could actually stem from a past life experience.
Exactly. It makes you wonder what past life echoes might be influencing you today.
That's pretty wild. Like we're each carrying around this hidden library of past life experiences.
And those experiences can shape how we react, how we make choices in this lifetime.
Now, one thing that really stood out to me in the book was this emphasis on intention.
Oh yeah, it's
not just about our actions, but the motivation behind them.
Right. It's like, the intention acts as a karmic amplifier.
Okay, so actions done with love and authenticity create a different kind of karmic ripple than those driven by, say, fear or ego.
Exactly. It's not just about checking off the good deed box. It's about cultivating genuine compassion and acting from a place of integrity.
All right, so we've laid this groundwork. Karma as actions, thoughts, intentions. It spans lifetimes, affects individuals and communities. And I'm ready to dive into how this all plays out in our relationships.
Yeah, the relationships part is really interesting.
The book talks about these karmic bonds we have with people. And not just romantic relationships, friends, mentors, even those difficult people in our lives.
Great. It's not just about random encounters. The people who come into our lives, those are often reflections of past life connections, lessons we need to learn.
Okay, so even those challenging relationships, the ones that drive us crazy, those could actually be opportunities for growth.
The book argues that even the most difficult relationships offer valuable lessons and a chance to break free from those negative karmic patterns.
So that coworker who pushes your buttons, that family member who always seems to trigger you, maybe they're not just there to make your life harder.
Maybe they're there to help you grow.
Wow, that's a powerful way to look at it. Okay, so in the book, it doesn't just talk about soulmates in a romantic sense.
Right, it goes beyond that.
Like, we can have soulmate connections with friends, mentors, even those people who challenge us.
Exactly. And you know what's really interesting? The book makes this distinction. It says that not all these karmic bonds are about resolving past issues.
Oh,
Some relationships, they're actually designed to help us grow, to support our soul's purpose.
so some relationships are more like, I don't know, karmic power-ups.
I love that. Karmic power-ups. Yeah, it's like those relationships that really ignite something in you.
So how can we tell the difference between a karmic lesson and a karmic power-up?
The book says pay attention to how the relationship makes you feel.
Okay?
Does it drain your energy, leave you feeling frustrated, depleted? Or does it energize you, inspire you?
So gut feeling plays a role here.
Definitely. If a relationship consistently leaves you feeling negative, there's probably some karmic baggage there.
Like your soul is trying to tell you something. Like, hey, pay attention, there's something to learn here.
Exactly. And on the flip side, if a relationship really lights you up, makes you feel inspired, full of purpose, that could be a sign that you've got a karmic power-up in your corner.
Someone who's there to support your growth, help you level up in this whole soul journey thing.
Exactly. Think about those relationships that bring you joy, growth, a sense of shared purpose.
Okay, I'm starting to see the difference. But even with those karmic power-up relationships, there are still going to be challenges.
Of course, no relationship is perfect. There will always be ups and downs.
Right.
But the book makes this point. In a healthy karmic connection, even those conflicts can be opportunities. Opportunities for growth, for deeper understanding.
So it's not about avoiding conflict altogether. It's about how we handle those challenges.
Right. And that brings us to another key concept from the book, forgiveness.
Ah, forgiveness. Easier said than done, right?
It can be really tough, especially when we're dealing with karmic knots and past life baggage. But the book talks about forgiveness not as condoning bad behavior, but as a way to release ourselves, to let go of that negative karmic energy.
So it's more about freeing ourselves than letting the other person off the hook.
Exactly. Forgiveness is an act of self-love. It's crucial for healing those karmic wounds.
Says like this karmic cleanse, a way to break free from those negative patterns. But how do we actually do that? It's one thing to say forgive and forget, but putting it into practice, it's hard.
The book suggests some practical techniques like meditation, journaling, visualization. Even if you can't fully forgive someone in your heart, start by acknowledging hurt.
And then you can choose to release the anger, the resentment.
Right. It's a process. It takes time.
I imagine forgiveness isn't just about forgiving others. It's about forgiving ourselves, too.
Absolutely. Self-forgiveness is just as important. It's about acknowledging our past mistakes, but then choosing to move forward with compassion.
So we're not just dealing with karmic baggage in our relationships with others. We're also dealing with our own internal karmic baggage.
Exactly. We all have those regrets, those things we wish we'd done differently.
Should-haves, the could-haves.
But the book encourages us to view those past mistakes as opportunities for learning, not as failures, but as stepping stones.
Okay, that's a much better way to look at it. Yeah, but how do we actually access those past life experiences that might be influencing us today?
The book mentions past life regression therapy,
Okay?
uses guided meditation and hypnosis to access those memories. Journaling is also helpful, can help you uncover patterns, themes that might be rooted in past life karma.
So it's like becoming a detective of your own soul.
Exactly, it's all about self-discovery.
Past life regression therapy sounds pretty intense, though.
It's not for everyone. Yeah, you have to be open to it. But even if you're not ready for that, there are simpler ways to cultivate karmic awareness.
Like what?
Mindfulness is a big one. Paying attention to your thoughts, your actions, those recurring patterns. Gratitude is huge too.
So being present, appreciating the good things. Those simple practices can actually have a big impact on your karmic journey.
They really can. It's about making those small, conscious choices, aligning them with your values.
Okay, that feels much more manageable than trying to remember all my past lives.
Right. Just small steps, conscious choices, and a little gratitude.
I can do that. But what about those times when we mess up? Make a choice we regret. Is there a way to course correct? Like, can we do anything to fix our karma?
Well, the book emphasizes that making mistakes is part of being human. It's not about being perfect, it's about learning from those mistakes.
So it's okay to stumble as long as we get back up and try to do better.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself, learn from it, and move on.
And those lessons we learn, they don't just affect us individually. We've talked about how karma operates on a collective level, too.
Right, our choices have a ripple effect. They impact our communities, the world around us. So making choices that support sustainability, social justice, those contribute to positive collective karma.
So it's like we're all in this together, creating this giant karmic tapestry with every choice we make.
I love that image. It reminds us of our interconnectedness, and it shows that we all have a role to play in creating a more positive world.
So even when things are tough, even when we make mistakes, we can still choose to act with compassion and intention, knowing that those choices will ripple out and create a more positive world.
Exactly. It's empowering, isn't it?
Now let's talk about those times when we face really difficult challenges. How can this concept of karma help us through those tough times?
Well, the book suggests that even in those dark times, there's always an opportunity for growth. It might not be obvious right away, but it's there.
So even when we don't understand why we're going through something difficult, we can trust that there's a lesson in it.
That's the idea. Have faith that even those challenging times are serving a purpose.
And I imagine that maintaining a positive mindset during those tough times can make a big difference.
It really can. When we shift our perspective, when we focus on hope instead of despair, it opens us up to new possibility.
So even when things are tough, cultivating a positive mindset can actually attract more positive karma.
Exactly. Your thoughts and beliefs, they have a powerful influence on your reality.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense. But if karma is all about growth and evolution, is there an end goal? Like, is there a point where we've learned all the lessons and we graduate from the school of karma?
That's the million-dollar question. Some believe that the ultimate goal is liberation, freedom from the cycle of birth and death.
Like reaching a state of perfect balance, perfect harmony, no more karmic lessons needed.
That's one interpretation, but different spiritual traditions have different perspectives, right? And even if there is an ultimate goal, the journey itself is what really matters.
That's a good point. It's about embracing the lessons, the challenges, the growth that comes with each lifetime.
Exactly. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Oakley, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the basic definition of karma to its implications for our lives and the world around us.
And we've seen that it's not about punishment. It's about growth, evolution, becoming the best versions of ourselves.
We talked about how our choices create ripples that can span lifetimes, how our relationships are often karmic bonds with deep significance, and we even explored some practical techniques for cultivating greater karmic awareness.
Hopefully this has given you a deeper understanding of this ancient concept and how it can be applied to your own life.
Absolutely. Remember, karma is not a rigid set of rules. It's a fluid and ever-evolving journey is self-discovery. We've talked about how every relationship has karmic significance. So ask yourself, what lessons are your current relationships trying to teach you? That question can unlock some really profound insights and guide you toward a greater understanding, both of yourself and this intricate karmic dance we're all a part of. Wow, we've covered some serious karmic ground today.
We have. It's a lot to take in. It is.
But before we spiral off into past lives and cosmic what-ifs, let's bring it back down to earth for a minute.
Idea.
If someone's just dipping their toes into this whole concept of karma, what are those key takeaways they should walk away with?
Well, first and foremost, karma isn't about punishment. It's not some cosmic scorecard.
Right, it's not like you did something bad, so now you're going to get zapped.
Exactly. It's more about growth than about evolution. It's like, think of it like a mirror, reflecting our choices back to us, so we
can see where we need to grow, what we need to learn.
Exactly. Every experience, even the tough ones, They offer us a chance to learn and become better versions of ourselves.
It's okay, I like that.
Yeah, that's...
And those lessons, they're not just limited to this life, right? We've been talking about how karma can play out across multiple lifetimes.
Yeah, it's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is, but it's also kind of amazing. Like, our actions have this ripple effect that extends beyond just this one life.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of everything.
Right. Okay, so we've got karma as this grand web spanning lifetimes. And woven into that web are our relationships, which, as we've discussed, are not just random. They have this karmic significance.
Absolutely. And those relationships, that they can really push us to grow, to heal old wounds, to evolve together.
So next time I meet someone who really rubs me the wrong way, maybe instead of getting annoyed, I should think, what karmic lesson are you here to teach me?
That's a great way to look at it. It shifts your perspective. Instead of blame, you're approaching it with curiosity, openness.
Okay, I'm going to try that. Now, we talked about some pretty intense ways to explore karma, like past life regression. But for those of us who aren't ready to get hypnotized, what are some easier ways to start incorporating karmic awareness into our lives?
The book really emphasizes the power of simple things like mindfulness and gratitude, just paying attention to your thoughts, your actions, and appreciating the good things in your life.
So you don't need to be a meditation master or anything, just being more present, more thankful.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, those small shifts, they can have a big impact on your karmic journey.
Okay, small steps, conscious choices, gratitude. Got it, it hurt. But we're human, we make mistakes. What about those times when we mess up? Is there a way to, course correct, to fix our karma?
Well, the book makes the point that everyone makes mistakes. It's part of the process. It's not about never messing up. It's about learning from those mistakes.
So it's okay to stumble as long as we get back up and, try to do better next time.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself. Learn from the experience and move on.
And it's not just about us as individuals, right? All these choices we make, they have an impact on everyone around us.
Great. It's like we're all weaving this giant karmic tapestry together. Every choice we make adds a thread to that tapestry.
So by making conscious, compassionate choices, we're not just helping ourselves, we're contributing to a more positive world for everyone.
Exactly. We're all interconnected.
Well, I gotta say, this deep dive into karma has been pretty mind-blowing.
It's a fascinating topic. So much to explore.
We've covered so much, from the basics to this idea of karma spanning lifetimes and shaping our relationships, and even learned some practical ways to become more karmically aware in our everyday lives.
It all comes back to those simple principles: compassion, intention, and growth.
Beautifully said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into karma. Remember, it's not about punishment. It's about evolution, becoming the best versions of ourselves. And it's a journey we're all on together. Thanks for joining.